I was delighted to see there are some silent generators, but obviously some of them aren't, and there's a constant presence here, like a boat constantly coming into the harbour. 3 weeks the residents here in Burnaby have had this noise.
Yeah.
Has it even gotten close to somebody? I don't know. You see, the thing is, I wondered, did anybody genuinely come and say sorry? Is there a sense that somebody's taking responsibility?
So we've got two sides to it. We've got the local school management who've been brilliant. So Rory, the principal here, and Lourdes Scott have been fantastic at trying to resolve this issue. And local representatives have been great. Max Crean has been brilliant, and Simon Harris has been great, and Stephen Donnelly and Stephen Matthews have all got involved in trying to get it fixed. So we've got good support from them. We've good support from Wicklow County Council, who've come around on numerous occasions and informed CPAC through visiting the site, through writing to them, through talking to them and trying to negotiate with them that they absolutely need to turn these generators off at night. CPAC and the Department of Education, however, are a different story. So I've been trying to contact CPAC, local residents have been trying to contact CPAC. Eventually I got a call back from CPAC, and the guy who rang me back was the communications director or the advertising director of the company, and he wasn't familiar with the details of the case. I had to inform him myself, and he wasn't the person who made the decision to keep us awake for 3 weeks, and he wasn't really in position to answer for that. Now, nobody who could actually do anything to fix the situation has spoken to me. Now, CPAC have got two, so it's almost like so silent generators are actually noisy generators, and super silent generators are relatively quiet generators, right?
Yeah.
So we've got two super silent generators, which are on this side of the site,
Right.
and we've got the throbbing of two silent generators, which are actually noisy. And as I said to you earlier, it's like being camping at Electric Picnic when there's a rave on, right? All night, every night, no let up. Now they've started building baffles and they've started putting mats under them, but that has made no difference, and we're now into our third weekend of disrupted sleep.
And is there a kind of a timetable for all of this work? I mean, I don't know if there is, because that's the thing. I heard about the baffle boxes, which apparently kill the sound. Then you've got your vibration mats, which apparently help as well, and then you've got your super silent, but still you can hear them.
Yeah.
Right.
So the super silents, there are two more super silents on the way. They're coming from Italy. Nobody has any idea of a date for delivery. The other issue is the ESB connecting up the mains, and there's no timeline at all for that, when that might happen. So at the moment we're looking at the County Council instructing CPAC to turn these things off at night. CPAC saying they can't turn them off at night because of contractual and practical problems. Department of Education have sent out a couple of communications, and basically when they send out a communication, it is to back up the position of CPAC. Department of Education have not at any stage acknowledged the suffering, the nuisance, the communications from the Wicklow County Council in any of their communications. They simply restate the position of CPAC, that it's going to be awkward and inconvenient. But they never balance it against the inconvenience of 3 weeks of no sleep, which, Now there are vulnerable people in the community who've been in touch with me who are more vulnerable than I am, and they're seriously suffering. People with, possibly recent bereavements or issues, around different sensory needs or all that sort of stuff. They're being really hammered by this. And CPAC they've done a bit of baffle fixing. They've put up some baffle boxes, and it's made no difference. And they'd know it would make no difference if they actually contacted us or communicated with us, but they don't. And there's been no sense of an apology, nothing.
So what would you say is the way to sort this then, from their point of view?
My suggestion is that at the moment, the school is not urgently in need of these buildings. These buildings, there are 3 weeks of diesel generators pumping out fumes and noise into the environment for buildings that are not being used. If these super silent generators are really imminent in their arrival, I would suggest that the silent generators, which are the noisy ones, get turned off, that the alarm gets decommissioned, and that if necessary for a contractual reason, the contractor takes over the ownership or the control of these buildings until such time as the super silent generators arrive, and then we can look at recommissioning those alarms. They're going to have to decommission and recommission the alarms when the new generators arrive anyway, so why not do it now?
And as you said, the important thing to state here is that they're not actually needed right now. It's not as if people are waiting at the door to get in. And
when this started, I got really angry, right? And there are big red buttons on all of the generators saying emergency turn off. And I was asking the question, why don't I go into the site when nobody's here and turn them off? And I was told by people who are calmer than I am, local representatives and so on, well, if you do that, the children will have nowhere to go to school. But that's not true now. The children do, as it turns out, the primary school got moved, got the use of their fantastic new building up in Charlesland, and so the secondary school can now use those on a temporary basis up until hopefully the super silent generators arrive. But at the moment there's no joined up thinking, and there's absolutely no consideration. I'd actually say there's total disregard for the needs and the concerns and the suffering of the people who have to live here through this. And I'm disappointed that it's the Department of Education are not putting pressure on CPAC, as far as I can tell, because any communication I've got from the Department of Education, I've had the private secretary of the minister on emailing me today, and basically all he does is restate the position of CPAC.
Right.
There's no acknowledgement of the fact that we're having to kind of suffer and stay awake through all of this.
Well, that is always the problem when you're dealing with officialdom, that there will be a standard issue reply to most of these sort of scenarios without actual real consideration of the realities. They just have a party line, they have almost a legal line. Would you be hopeful that there will be a resolution within, I don't know, whether you'd be thinking days, weeks? I don't know.
It's now Friday. I'm not hopeful of any resolution before Monday, because nobody's going to be on site over the weekend, but we're going to be living beside the site all weekend and all night. Pressure is building. I mean, all of the local government TDs, Stephen Matthews, Stephen Donnelly and Simon Harris, have all said they're taking this up actively with the Minister for Education, and I just hope that if enough of that kind of pressure builds, we can fix it. I mean, the other thing that's happening is on Monday I've had enough, and I'm going down to the district court to start proceedings against CPAC to force them to turn this off, because and the thing that, like, and I said it in the email to the Department of Education, like the fact that the contractor employed by the Department of Education has to be forced by the courts to show some consideration for its neighbours is like insane. The department, I work for the Department of Education. I'm a teacher, and like our work is based on care, it's based on community, it's based on making sure people are okay, looking after people's health, looking after their mental health, and these guys are showing absolutely none of that, no consideration for the people, and they're actually putting the local school management, who are fantastic, and the local school is brilliant, and we're delighted the local school is here, but the local school management are being put in a terrible position, because anybody around here now looks across the school and they go, that bloody thing that's kept me awake, whereas we should be like welcoming the new school and excited and delighted for them, which we are, but like it's putting unnecessary pressure on local school management.
Now we will put this up this evening, and hopefully then Monday we'll start kicking around a little bit, and with this being up there, it may just push people a little bit forward. So we will definitely get it out there, and I know you mentioned people like Mags have been great too. They've been behind the scenes trying to get this resolved. We should just mention before we go, that's not a hamster. I did put a dreadful looking mic on you, just in case people are curious, just to get hopefully the sound is better with it.
Okay, very good. Well,
Cheers.
hopefully you're getting that sound in as
That's
well.
it.
All right.